with Bubblegum Paper, and I'm back with another card in my 25 Cards in 25 Days Holiday Card Series. I'll put a link to the playlist in the upper right corner so you can take a look at all the cards I've made so far. Today I'm here with a very late card number 6, and I'm featuring products from Mama Elephant. Here's a close-up of the card I'm about to make, and let's get started. The products I'm using from Mama Elephant are the Woolly Winter Stamps, the Pick's Favorites stamps, and the So Fancy dies. I'm also using the stitched rectangles from Simon Says Stamp. I'm starting with some Nina Solar White cardstock, and I'm stamping the little dancing sheep in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I've stamped it 3 times. And then I'm stamping 3 different candy canes, and I'm taking the little tree stump from Pick's Favorites, and I'm stamping that 3 times as well. Next, I'm going to take my Copic markers and I'm coloring all the different sheep. And I want the sheep to stay white still, like a light white color. So I'm using a series of cool grays, very light cool grays, which will help it still look white but give it some definition. I'm also going to color some fur on the hats and on the sheep itself. And to do that, I'm using the 0 marker, the colorless blender, and I'm just dabbing that on top of the color, and it makes it look kind of furry. So there's a bunch of coloring to be done, so I'm setting this to some music. I'll speed it up and I will be back at the end. Next, I will take the coordinating dies and I'll just run these through my cutting machine. I'm just cutting out the sheep, the candy cane, and the tree stumps, and since there's 3 of them here, I have to run it through 3 separate times, and it takes a little while, but it's pretty easy. I'm also taking this So Fancy outer frame, and I'm running that through to make the base of the card, and I'm using the second largest stitched rectangle die to cut the inside of that frame. And this will be the outer frame for the whole card. Next, I'm taking a standard A2 size card and I'm just drawing a bunch of pencil lines down. I'm using the markings on my craft mat to give me somewhat of a sense of where I want these rays to go. I didn't fully measure this and I'm kind of totally eyeballing this right now, but I just want it to be symmetric. And I'm creating these 3 little spotlights for the dancing sheep. And I'll go in and I wasn't sure if when you use distress ink, if the pencil marks get in the way. So you'll see here I'm lifting the tape up and then I'm erasing the pencil marks and then I'm using the tape as a guide. Now this is Post-it adhesive, Post-it tape. So you've seen me use it in previous cards. And what I'm doing is using it as a mask and I'm taking some Squeeze Lemonade Distress ink and I'm just carefully applying the distress ink, and I want it to be more saturated at the top and then fade to white towards the bottom. So I'm using this and I'm just running it through, and then you see me erasing the lines again and then just using that same piece of Post-it tape. So this Post-it tape paper is awesome. You can reuse it. It's still very sticky on the bottom. So then I had my 3 rays, and then I took it back and I was like, I think I want those outer rays to be a little longer, a little wider, I mean. So I go back and I ink those up again. And you can kind of see my original one and the new one, but it's okay. It's kind of like an extra spotlight. Next, I'm taking my VersaFine Onyx Black ink and I'm inking up the sentiment. This ink is great. It's great for very fine detailed stamps and it's waterproof as well. Not that I intend on getting this card wet, but I just stamped up the sentiment and put that in the upper right corner. And now I have a brand new roll of foam adhesive. So yes, I've used it so much. And I wanted to show you how I go about cutting these when I say I cut it into a third or into a quarter. Basically, I take my X-Acto knife and I just cut it down with a ruler. And sometimes I use my scissors, but lately I've been using this so much that it was just much faster for me to cut it down with my X-Acto knife. Um, and surprisingly, it doesn't stick to that craft mat or to that cutting mat. So I'm making the frame, and now I'm going to lay down the rest of the card. So I'm taking the foam adhesive and I'm placing that on the back of each of the dancing sheep. Now this is a funny story card. So a couple years ago, my friends Gloria and Winnie, you've heard me talk about them before because Winnie visited a couple times this summer, and for Gloria it was her birthday, and I made that laundry machine card. I'll put a link to that one here because it's a very fun card. But both Gloria and Winnie are good friends of mine. I've known them for over half my life at this point. And we were in San Francisco and we were picking Winnie up at the airport one really late evening. And it was around Christmas time, so we came back to Gloria's house. And then Feliz Navidad came on the radio, and we were having so much fun being totally cheesy that we were dancing and bopping left and right on the entire car ride home as the song was playing. And for whatever reason, I think that song just was extra long. And so we sat in Gloria's driveway for a good 2 more minutes or something, 3 minutes, singing the entire song. So her husband was probably wondering, what are those girls doing sitting in the driveway and not coming inside? It's freezing outside. So anyhow, this card totally reminds me of our times together and how much fun the three of us have had. We've done some really fun trips together, and so this card is dedicated to Winnie and Gloria. So next I'm taking those little candy canes and I'm placing foam adhesive just around the curved area of the candy canes, and then the rest of the candy cane, the bottom, will be held together with regular tape runner adhesive. I'm just taping it to the hoof of the little lamb or the sheep. I had 3 tree stumps. You saw me color 3 tree stumps and cut those all out. And in the end, I decided there wasn't enough room for all 3. So I just made the center one up on the ledge, and the other 2 are kind of dancing. It's like Santa and the elves. Then I had these leftover music notes and stars from cards number 1 and 3 of the card series. The stars from the Christmas tree in card number 1, and the music note is from the season's tweetings in card number 3. And since they were just sitting in my little tray on my desk, I decided they would be appropriate for this card. Now I'm using my Wink of Stella pen and just adding glitter because I think of the hat and the scarves as the costumes for these performers, and I'm just making it super sparkly. So the last thing I'm going to do is take an A2 size landscape top folding card, and I'm just gluing this onto the front of that card panel. So here are 2 close-ups of the finished card. Winnie and Gloria, I'm singing Feliz Navidad all day long thinking of you guys. And for everyone else, thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in more videos from this series, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can follow me on social media at Bubblegum Paper or visit my blog at bubblegumpaper.com. I'm putting a link here to 2 of my more recent videos in this series, cards number 4 and 5. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.